This is Lily of the Valley coming to you with another lesson. I'm bringing you greetings in the name of Jehovah, our Creator, and Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the King who rules the children of Israel. And today we're looking at pictures of native Scandinavians or Germans or Ashkenaz or Japhetites. And this is what their prototype is in the earth. Excuse me, looking like today. So you notice in the news there's a lot of propaganda from Scandinavian countries. Oh, they're the safest, they're the best, they're the this, they're the that. But however, when you dig into the history, civilization came to them last through the Grecians and the Romans. So you'll see a lot of things about how safe Scandinavian country is, but look at their deeds. The Bible says we got to look at their deeds, okay? So this is a report. These are the 10 best countries in the world in 2019. So best according to who? So whatever is best in the world, is not going to be best according to Jehovah, because Jehovah's rules are different from the world's rules. And we as children of Israel, who are the Negroes in the earth, we obey the Most High, not the rules of the earth, if it goes against the laws of Jehovah. So for the third consecutive year, Switzerland is the world's best country according to new ranking from the U.S. News and World Report. Okay, they covered business leaders and citizens from 36 countries, evaluate 80 nations according to 75 metrics. So of course that's already not even good, because there's like 200 and something countries in the world. So Japan saw the biggest jump in rankings this year from number 5 in 2018 to number 2. And as you can see, a lot of these countries, they have very high suicide rates, very high abortion rates, very high everything that's against the laws of the Most High. They have very high rates of that, but they don't measure that. So number 10 is France, 9 Norway, 8 United States, 7 Australia, 6 Sweden, United Kingdom number 5, Germany 4, Canada 3, 2 Japan, 1 Switzerland. Most of these countries, you have things that are lawful, that are against the Most High's laws. The laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances, the judgments, and the faith of Jesus Christ. So they name themselves the best, but look at the abortion rates now. Okay. So Down syndrome in Iceland has almost disappeared. August 15, 2017. In the U.S., according to the National Down Syndrome Society, about 6,000 babies with Down syndrome are born each year. And they have one of the highest rates of aborting babies with Down syndrome. Now remember, in the Bible, Christ told the disciples that it's not the children's fault why they're born with birth defects. They're born that way so that the works of the Most High may be perfected. If there are no defective people, Jesus can perform miracles to make them limbs grow, to cast out demons, to restore them sight and all of that. In terms of medicine, people can't be cured of this, that and the other. So things have to happen for it to work. If we don't know what evil is, we don't know what good is. If we don't know what righteousness is, we can't know what unrighteousness is. Okay? So you have the abortion rates with these Scandinavian countries. Down syndrome heading for extinction in Denmark. 98% of Down syndrome pregnancies were aborted last year. So these are the killing machines of the earth. The children, they want to save the whale, save the dog, save the cat. But what happened to the children who get killed in the womb? And even some of them who are born. Induced abortions in the Nordic countries. The number of induced abortions Among teenagers, decline in the Nordic countries, some 74,000 induced abortions were performed in 2017 in the Nordic countries. That's 12.6 abortions per thousand women of childbearing age 15 to 49 years. So you see why a lot of them have negative birth rates. There's no point in the Most High giving people children for them to be murdered. The Exodus 20 says, "Thou shalt not kill, including yourself or your children." And a lot of them have a lot of assisted suicides. So everything that the Bible says is wrong, they turn it around and call it nice and good. And the Bible says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, but then put themselves as the best countries in the earth." Okay. So Scandinavia's war on babies with Down syndrome, Marianne West. Denmark, not exactly a backwards place to run by religious fanatics or many tyrants, brags that they abort 98% of babies with Down syndrome. That number is 90% in the United Kingdom, 96% in France. In Iceland, every single baby diagnosed with Down syndrome is aborted. Around Europe and even in the US, the statistics paint paints just as stark an image. Okay. So all Danish babies with Down syndrome aborted, but 4 in 2016. And Iceland has eliminated Down syndrome through abortion. That's one of the Snoops thing. Remember also there was an abortion ship that came to the Americas to promote that, when our Bible tells us we must be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And the Most High tells us He's going to bless our womb and our water. Notice a lot of the fertility places are cropping up all over. Places like Kenya and in the Scandinavian countries. They want to have babies now, but a lot of them have been sterilized because they follow the laws of men and their wickedness instead of the Most High. Okay. In Israel, where the Ashkenaz live, and they're descendants of the Scandinavians too. Ashkenaz is a son of Japhet. So this is fulfilling the prophecy that says, "A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and the worst of the heathen will occupy your goodly houses." Notice they have the biggest homosexual parade there. They have the most atheists. They have the most vegetarians. And abortion is legal. So you can't be the children of the Bible and be practicing the things that Satan teaches and call yourself children of the Bible. It just doesn't make sense. Abortion is legal in Israel up until the moment of birth. See, the same thing, they passed that in New York. So Negroes who keep voting for these people, you could have been the majority in America already. You could have been running this country. You could have said, "Hey, money here, money there, money everywhere." Because remember, the Negroes control all these Americas before the strangers came, before Columbus, before the Siberian looking Indians came across from Bering Strait. All these Americas, North, South, Central, the islands, were controlled by Negroes. That's why the Negroes are still called West Indians to this day. The entire West was controlled by Negroes who are the children of Israel. So the Most High bless your womb, He bless your land, He bless your water, just like He said He would. So because you didn't listen and you aborted your baby, you're not in the majority. So stop aborting your children and following the Bible, and you won't go wrong. So in Israel, 2 million Israeli children have been aborted since Israel founded in 1948. Israel receives about 3 billion each year from American taxpayers. So that you Negroes, you're paying for these people. Why don't you take your money and pay for yourself? These same people who you're voting for, they haven't paid you reparations yet. So you see how you've been tricked. So stop killing your children and set up your families back the way the Most High said to set it up. You're supposed to be virgins when you marry. Then watch the Most High bless your womb, your land, your water, everything. And then keep the strangers out. Because Him say, "Come out from among them and be separate." Because they don't like the laws of the Most High. It says about 74% of the aid is returned to the United States in the form of contracts with American weapons manufacturers. This is AmericanThinker.com blog. So it says abortion in Israel is permitted when determined by termination committee under limited circumstances such as rape, concerns about the age of the woman, or birth defects, or with the vast majority of cases being approved as of 2019. It said the rate of abortion in Israel has steadily declined 1998, and the Ashkenaz are also Japhetites descended from those who consider themselves to be today's Caucasians or Nordic people. So they're the same people. So all these abortions that you see, it's not something that's sanctioned in the Bible. The Canaanites were doing it, the Egyptians, the Sodomites, the Gomorrites, the Babylonians, the Edomites, all of them. But the Most High said, learn not the customs of the heathen, and envy not thy oppressor, and choose none of their ways. So when you look at our little poor countries, they say you are poor, but we're really rich because we're trying to fight the earth that's leading towards degeneracy. And in the Caribbean, they're trying to push it on us, push it on us. But Caribbean people, Negroes in the Caribbean, you're the descendants of the children of Israel. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, also called Israel. You're not Hamites. You're nothing but Israelites. It was the Israelites who were prophesied to go into slavery with yokes of iron upon their neck, and to be removed far from their borders, and to be sold to the Grecians. So look at 2 Maccabees. You'll see how the Grecians, the Athens, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. Notice it's the Negro countries who are fighting abortion, fighting homosexuality, fighting sodomy, fighting transgenderism, and the white countries are trying to push it on them because it's not our culture. The Most High said there should be no sodomites of the sons of Israel, nor whores of the daughters of Israel. So we have to train righteously. We have to start from scratch again. Get a Bible with Apocrypha, the 1611 King James Edition with the Apocrypha. Look at 2 Maccabees, and you see all of this that happened during the civil rights era is nothing new. It happened to the apostles. It happened to our forefathers. When not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. So the Olympius that y'all participate in, and the Bacchus and the Bacchanal, those things are from the Grecians, and it's for their idols that they do those things, especially the Olympic Games. Stay away from that kind of thing. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling. So all you carnival revelers in Brazil, wonder why you're suffering so. In all the islands, all that carnival reveling is idolatry. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the Lord forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or profess himself at all to be a Jew. This is how come today's Ashkenazi took over the Israelites of Judah and call themselves Jews, and then make it a crime. So if you're a Hebrew, an Israelite, or a Jew, or a Negro, or a Christian, because the early Christians were Jews, Paul says he's a Benjamite, he's a Jew, he's a Christian, and he's a Roman citizen. So we have all these different nationalities, but notice it's a criminal offense today to call yourself a Hebrew or an Israelite, and a Christian get persecuted more than anybody else. So this, look at Maccabees, 2 Maccabees chapter 6, and you see where they're repeating the same things but just in different generations. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. When the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying Iwe.